going on, everyone? Happy Monday. Hope you had a great weekend. Wow, we are right in the middle of Q4 right now. Crazy. I guess we're at the end of Q4 right now. It is just absolutely wild how this year has flown by. It's been a wild year. And I think a lot of people, this topic today, I think is going to be top of mind for a lot of you. A little tea this morning, which is how do you do more with less? That lots of organizations need to optimize their sales process, but maybe trying to look for, one, what are ways that we know will work, right? Or that we can be pretty sure will work. One, two, what are ways that we can do that without having to spend a ton of dough? So I'm going to talk about some of the top ones that whenever I work with clients and the team works with clients that we typically do. So yeah, and feel free if you have any questions, hit me up. Let's see, we've got a couple of other like housekeeping things. I'm going to go ahead and drop these in the chat for you too before I kick off. So there's YouTube. Go check out. I've got a, we are doing a, this sales development leader at Orem. We're going to talk about modern outbound. And then if you're not subscribed, or if you like to watch things on Zoom instead of LinkedIn, make sure to subscribe to the newsletter, The Modern Leader. I think on LinkedIn, we got like 12,000, 13,000 subscribers. So, this is all around our Modern Leader series. And really what I'm passionate about is, where's the future of sales? Where's it going? What are the things that you need to be aware of, whether you're in leadership today or not? And you're someone who wants to, I can see my like tea thing flying. If you're someone who wants to just up their skills in general. So should be a great conversation today. What are 2 ways you can drive more revenue without having to increase your budget or headcount, right? I think a lot of companies, like I said, whether they're, whether they're going through layoffs or they're really starting to think about their plan for next year, this topic is very, 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 very timely for a lot of you. Okay, so number one, you're like, Jake, just get into it, man. So number one, I'm going to talk about sales technology and information, okay? And you might be like, dude, sales tech, are you serious, man? I'm not trying to hear this. Okay, but I'm going to tell you why sales technology matters, okay? Most of your organizations have invested a lot of money in sales technology, a lot. Most of you have invested, we've got clients that have invested like between $1,500 to $2,000 a month per rep. The issue that we're seeing right now is that companies are only using 20 to 30% of these tools. Like I'll just take like an Outreach, for example, or Outreach or SalesLoft, whatever tool you use. It is shocking the usage that we see. And I'm going to tell you a couple of culprits around sales engagement in particular. The first is behind the scenes automations. I'm not talking about sending automated emails. You can build out in these tools various workflows that will allow you to, hey, an inbound lead comes in with this criteria, let's automatically put them in this sequence. Someone does XYZ, trips a lead score of 80, let's automatically put them based on territory routing rules into this sequence. And so right now, what's happening, and again, because 2023 is going to be all about doing more with less, not less with more, doing more with less. And so you have to start to do, best-in-class companies have like 40 or 50 of these automations. Again, they're not automated emails sent. They're automations behind the scenes to stop all the madness of like someone having to remember who to follow up with or whatever that might look like. So think automation rules behind the scenes is a big one that I see for sales engagement platforms. And it's really boring. You're like, Jake, automations, really? Yeah, really. Because I'm telling you, if your team's spending 2%, 3%, 4% of their time having to remember to follow up with a lead, follow up with a current customer. That's another use case for sales engagement that I don't see people doing enough of, like creating like a 12 touch point proactive sequence over the course of a year to make sure you've got value add touch points where you're giving value. So there's a sales engagement, like that's one part of technology. Okay. Then there's the other, okay, which is technology for a lot of people has just been used to start to just send more emails and create more data. Okay. Send more. The reality is a lot of these tools should allow us to actually do higher quality interactions. I'm seeing kind of a dangerous trend with the use of technology where technology was invented to make us smarter and better. And instead, we're just hitting send all, boop, send all, send all, send all. And then we're wondering why our outbound is broken. So I would say around like the technology piece in particular, if again, you're looking for ways to increase your revenue, move away. And this one's going to be somewhat controversial, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. If you want to increase revenue without increasing headcount, and again, I'm going to lump this in the technology bucket, even though it's a little bit of a metrics bucket, we have to move away from looking at activity metrics as the true tip top of the process, because reps are doing so much more now. They're engaging on LinkedIn. I just literally got a message from someone, a DM. She's like, yeah, we're not going to use that, sales nav because we can't track the messages people are sending or something if they send it in their first degree connection. I'm like, who cares? Like, it's much better to send a first degree message than a message through Sales Navigator. I love Sales Navigator. I think it's an amazing tool, but not for DMing people. You should never DM. If you're a first degree connection, you got to go to LinkedIn to do it. It's kind of annoying, right? But if we need to start to move away from activity metrics at the true top of the funnel, okay, if you want to see an increase in revenue, we have to start to ask our teams not to try to automate the interactions or how do I, use the latest bot or something. Instead, allow them to show up and do higher quality of interactions. If Rachel can make 20 videos and book 3 meetings, let her do it. If Ryan is a really good copywriter, let him send 40 really customized emails every day. If Susan's good at a mix of those things and makes some calls, let her make some calls, right? I'm telling you, by the way, the phone is trading at an all-time low right now. I do not know. I did a post yesterday. I didn't think it was controversial. It was just me reporting the news, but some people, had some beef with it. But I talked about, I took a bunch of cold calls last week and they were really bad. But anyway, I digress. So I want you to think about that if you want to increase revenue, the strategy that got you here this year of sending all in 2022 that wasn't working will also not work in 2023. Boom, newsflash. The strategy that isn't working today, doing more of that strategy where you're just sending more is also not going to work next year. News alert. Okay. So therefore, again, when you think about technology, most of you, like I said, are maybe using 20 to 30%. And so instead, what you're doing is you're forcing your team, like they're going to go log data in this system. There are so many automations that are available, again, around triaging leads. What are some other like really good automations that I've seen people? Yeah, like someone like is in your territory and they take some type of action, they download something, or they interact with like the pricing page. I can literally create an automation rule in Outreach that will automatically put that person in our visited pricing page sequence. Okay, so that's number one. Number one is you need to audit your technology stack, get rid of. So we do this for free, just so you guys know. If you want to DM me, I announced this. I thought more people would take me up on it. They haven't. But we announced this, I guess, maybe a couple of weeks ago. We have a technology audit product, and what we'll do is you don't pay us anything. You just pay us the savings. We just take a % of the savings. So it's basically free for you. So if you want to understand, and keep in mind, we do hundreds of sales technology deployments every year. So we know what works and we know what doesn't work. And now that everyone's becoming a platform, this is getting even messier. I've demoed every single one of the platforms, right? And I'm happy to tell you like what I'm seeing and what's working, what's not. But anytime you see your sales team doing something manual, you see your sales team doing some type of data entry, doing some type of like chasing or following up, you have to believe you probably have a piece of your technology stack that could actually do that work for them. So again, I want you guys to think about that. Are your tech stack, Gong would be a perfect one, or call monitoring is a perfect example of this. How many of you, and you can just virtually raise your hands, how many people really just use Gong to listen to calls at 3x speed, right? Or 2x speed or whatever? How many of people are actually using Gong to like actually dive into like you mentioned budget here, and we're actually coaching. I know it sounds good, but how many people are actually using the conversational intelligence and then like rewriting their sales process to map this ideal journey based on the feedback that we're getting from potential customers? Nobody. So again, you got to think about your investment in technology tools. Maybe you can get rid of some of these tools because you're not really using them and optimize the tools that you have today. Again, I talked about automation rules and sales engagement, data entry. If your team is having to log emails or activities, there are 50 different apps you could just literally plug in that would help them to do that. Slack, we use 2 different Slack bots that allow you to just basically update Salesforce from Slack or Microsoft Teams straight to Dynamics. So there's so many things that we can use technology for that you already are paying for. And again, you can probably free up some budget because there's probably some tools that sound good, or you want to tell your other sales leader buddy that you're also using that tool because it's cool. And then we can just optimize the rest. So again, if you're interested, we actually have, I don't know if Becca's on this, if Becca's on the LinkedIn Live, we actually have a technology. I think we put this on the website. Let me just check real quick. I'm going to text her. Can you drop the tech audit? I think we've got one on the website that you can do for free too. Can you drop the tech audit link on LinkedIn and Zoom? Okay, so we'll drop that for you guys too. But look, I love sales technology. Like I said, our team, we're the largest implementation partner for tools like Outreach, i360. We do SalesLoft implement. We do a lot of sales tech work. So this isn't just my view. This is from me being deep in the trenches. So understand, sales tech to me is probably the first place that I would go to cut budget and to find ways to optimize my team's performance. Okay. So that's the first place you go. Number 2. Okay. Performance management role or agency for outbound and sales process. Okay, here you go. All right, my friends, this one, and again, because we're going to save money, we might spend a little to make a little for this recommendation, but this one is going to also be, I don't know if this one will really be controversial. I don't know why it would be controversial, but so few organizations are doing it right now that it's obviously somewhat controversial. Okay, I want to talk about my friends in marketing, okay, and what they do. All right, hold on. Here we go. We got a couple of questions. Yeah, feel free, guys. That's my bad. Please drop the questions that you have in here. Yeah, I don't know why I didn't call that out, but definitely, guys, drop your questions. I'm in the chat, and so I'll be able to see whatever you guys are doing 100%. So, all right, Turker says, do you have experience with Suite Commerce Advanced Oracle NetSuite? Used to run B2B and e-commerce. Not as much. I mean, look, a lot of our clients implement NetSuite as a part of like when we're doing like a quote to cash implementation. But I would say, I'll tell you the issues that I see there is people don't properly implement NetSuite. And so because of that, they don't have all like the right integrations. And so there's a lot of manual work that happens on the back end. And so I would say in a NetSuite integration, that's really my experience there, is that people don't do enough. All right, we got this guy here, Zarul Alam. He's trying to promote. Yeah, hey, I like that. He said, I'll promote your business. There you go. Hey, no point and no shame in promoting yourself, man. You've done it twice though, so that might be enough. Drew, yeah, appreciate it, man. Yeah, definitely reach out. Happy to support in any way that I can as a part of this. Okay, so number 2, I listed it for you, is performance management for sales. Okay, this shouldn't sound crazy, but the amount of teams that are doing this, it's less than 3%. Okay, and that's a fast fact. That's not like an actual fact. I want you to think about marketing. Okay, and let's say for an example, marketing uses experts and agencies for everything. They use experts for web design, brand, PR, all of these things, performance marketing and advertising, marketing operations, HubSpot optimization, Marketo, etc. Why does marketing use experts at specific disciplines versus trying to hire everybody internally? And just and create these jacks of all trades that can't really do all of those things. They can do a little bit of it well. Well, because it can be better. One, you can cut them in times when it's lower, right, or tougher. You can not only can you cut them, they're experts at it. That's all they do. They just do this thing. In the sales, we've got a problem. In sales, we do not have a performance management mindset. And I think a lot of people will be like, what? Of course we have a performance management mindset. We don't. Sales teams optimize their sales process. So that's kind of my second one here is sales teams look at their sales methodology every 2 years, maybe longer, or when a new VP comes in, something. I want you to think about the insanity of how non-performance management sales actually is. And you are moving. Okay, let's say you've got a sales team of 20 people. Okay, and you can just do the math if your sales team is 200 or 2,000 people. Let's say you have a sales team of 20 people. Let's say on average, they're running 10 new customer calls a month. 10. Okay, so that means we've got 200 customer calls. That's at step one. Then maybe there's, X at step 2, X at step 3. My friends, anytime you are putting, and if you guys don't, and this is like more of stats, anytime you're putting large amounts of items through a system, that system can be optimized in real time or over time. So in a dynamic world like today, where industries are struggling, different groups are struggling, different industries are doing better, people are doing layoffs, you need to be looking at your process every month. Okay, what's the bottleneck today? Okay, boom, it's this. Okay, well, what's stopping us from getting more people from step 3 to step 4? Boom, let's go fix it. It is crazy to me that sales organizations do not act like performance management organizations. And that is the future, right? 2023, and obviously, look, we do this, right? The biggest area of opportunity is just a switch flip. That instead of looking at this as like sales methodology overhauls every month or 2 months, instead it's sales process optimization monthly. If you are 20 reps and you are doing 200 first calls, I can analyze the calls and I can go look at the data and I can say, hey, our deals are getting stuck at step 3 and getting to step 4. Okay, let's go implement this new talk track here, or this new X here, or this new Y here, etc. Yeah, definitely hit me up, Turker. I'm definitely down to learn more, so you can hit me up on that. So I want you guys to think about that. Is your sales organization running like a performance management organization? And if it's not, why? You need experts. You need people like us to come in and review the data and optimize the process in real time, right? And I'll talk about this with outbound as well too. All right, so Brandon's got a question. So I'll answer his question first, and then I'll go into the other part of performance management. He said, to grow a net new enterprise, I think team, should you hire a VP of sales, or is there something else you'd recommend to help a small sales team? 2 AEs only, break into new cold outbound enterprise accounts. Okay, great question here. So one, Brandon, depending on what you guys need, if you don't know, we do fractional leadership. So it's for companies a lot like this, where it's like, hey, you don't need a VP. That's like way overkill. But could you probably use like strategic support and that help for 10 hours a week? Probably, right? So if you guys are open to it, let me know, Brandon, because we do fractional leadership and other kind of fractional rev ops and some other things too. But no, I would not hire a VP. What you need is what I would call like the sales manager type. This is somebody, and this goes for anybody. I'm going to diverge a little bit here, but thinking about hiring and hiring smart is really important for next year. It always has been important, but when you're trying to do more with less, it's even more important. So Brandon, if I was going to hire this role, I would look for someone who isn't so far removed from the trenches. someone who's managed a team of 10, and now maybe they've done that for 2, 3, 4 years, and now maybe they're ready to be, a senior director or a VP down the road. But you need someone who still likes getting in the nitty gritty. So that would be my advice: is hire a fractional support for the strategy side. And then as it starts to scale, then you can start to think about hiring someone for that. But I will tell you, the strategy you should be using for cold outbound enterprise is LinkedIn heavy. All right. I don't know what industry you sell into, but I would be using LinkedIn 24/7, meaning I'd be building out lists in Sales Navigator, connecting with people, doing filters on lead shares, commenting, engaging with different people's content, etc. That's how we're seeing people break through in enterprise. Is they're using LinkedIn really, really heavy. We've got the executives involved and a whole bunch of other things too. So great question. I hope that helps. Again, if you guys got any other sales questions, drop them in the chat. Happy to hop in. All right, here we go. Oh, yeah, here we go. We do have the tech stack survey. All right, link coming for all my LinkedIn people. Here's that sales tech stack audit. You can take a quick gander at. Our team will, here we go. Drop it for you now. All right, there you go. I guess it's not on the website right now. I think they're putting it on the website, but this is a Google form. Fill this out and our team will basically send you the readout for it. Okay, performance management. So this is number 2. So again, I said there's 2 things that you need to do more with less in 2023 to increase your revenue without increasing a bunch of costs. So number 1 was optimize the way that your team's using technology, the tech stack you have, and eliminate technologies that you're not really using. Okay, there's a lot of these technologies you're just not using them. Let's just be perfectly candid, or your team's using the very base use case as a part of it. And then number 2 is performance management. And what this is a mindset shift that we have to start to think, again, instead of sales is just going to make some stuff, and again, I'll get to outbound, we're going to make a couple changes. No, guys, what's the point of RevOps if you're not making changes in real time? What's the point of all this data and all these analytics and all these insights if we're not making changes in real time? I mean, again, you've got 20 reps, 200 demos. I can clearly look at the data, see something's broken this month, and then I'm going to go spend the next 6 weeks to optimize that. And then guess what? There's another bottleneck. Okay, oh, that's getting better. Now let's go tackle this thing. Then we fix that. It never ends. There's no such thing as a perfect sales process. You can always continue to find ways to increase your conversion, or maybe decrease it here to increase it later, so you're spending more time with the best fit people. So again, everyone, think about that. Performance management. Now, so that's in the sales process of performance management. Now, let's talk about outbound. This one's the insane one to me. Think about outbound. You've got a team of people. I'm going to do some real quick math for you here. Okay. Let's say we've got 20 SDRs. Okay. Average SDR, let's say, makes, I'm going to say $65,000. Okay. 65,000 times 20 divided by 12. And that'll tell me. So that means my team of 20, okay, on my SDRs, I'm spending about 108,000 on them. 108K per month for 20 SDRs, roughly. And again, if it's in San Francisco or something, it's more expensive. Don't worry about my math. The mindset's what's important. Okay, if marketing, and I'm going to go back to my friends at marketing. Marketing usually spends between 10 to 20% of their budget on optimizing performance. Do you know what a marketer would do if you went to them and said, hey, you know what? You're going to spend $108,000 this month on Google AdWords, and nobody's going to be 100% responsible for optimizing the ads performance. It's crazy, right? Like, you would never do that. The marketer would be fired tomorrow. Guess what? That's what every sales development team is doing. Why aren't you spending to get rid of one of the headcount or two of the headcount, get rid of two of the people? Okay, you got 18 SDRs now, and you've got an agency like ours, right? Or a full-time person. Again, you need someone who can do technical and content. And why not just hire us, and all we'll do is optimize the performance. We're going to look at all the best performing sequences, what's working, what's not working, optimize, rewrite, boom. Okay, Johnny's started doing this. Cool, optimize, boom. How are you not optimizing your outbound every week, every 2 weeks, every 4 weeks? because again, we're just moving too slow in sales. Again, a marketer who spends $108,000 a month on Google AdWords or social media ads, and then says, I have no budget to optimize that spend, will be fired tomorrow. But yet sales development teams spend $108,000 a month, right? That's my 20-person SDR team. And we spend $0 to performance manage it. Like, it's crazy. You should be spending 10 to 20K a month to optimize the performance of your outbound team. Of course you should. It's data. Again, and that team is pumping tens of thousands of data points through a system. You have to be optimizing in real time. The world is so dynamic. Things are changing so rapidly. If you are not going into 2023 with a performance management mindset, you're going to be left behind. You're going to keep doing the old sales process and methodology that you learned from 25 years ago, command of the message or SaaS blueprint or whatever it is. These methodologies that were developed not for times like this right now, where things are so fluid, buyers are more educated, all that. You have to start to take a more performance management mindset to your sales organization. You are not going to hit your numbers in 2023 doing the old methodology. There's no chance. It's over. You already didn't hit the numbers this year. You're not going to hit them next year either, unless you start to take a performance management mindset. So, my friends, those are your two things. Technology. Get rid of probably a good chunk of what you already have because you're not using it. And for the technology that you do have, go ahead, fill out that audit. Hopefully that's helpful, right? We'll kind of tell you what that looks like. And then optimize what you have. You're probably using such a little amount. All you got to do is just, again, what's the team doing manually? Oh, you got to stay up to date with these tools. They're evolving so quickly. It's tough to stay up to date. Number 2, performance management. You need somebody in your organization or to hire an agency like ours to optimize the performance of your sales process and your outbound process in real time. We cannot, again, their changes are happening so dynamically. We can't just sit there. Like, buyer behavior is evolving so quickly. Click to buy, 1-day delivery. Like, these are things that didn't exist 6 years ago, 5 years ago. But yet B2B processes are, again, we just optimize them every once in a while. Takes forever. So again, I want you to think about that. Do you have a performance management team? And most teams, it's not your RevOps team because they're just crunching numbers. They don't know how to actually go fix the problem because maybe they're sales ops, they're not sales leaders. Okay. So performance management, that's what's up. So that's it, everybody. That's what I got for you. All right. Coming in a little hot on a Monday. It's probably just because the Chiefs lost. I'm still bitter about the Chiefs losing. We also went to the San Antonio Spurs game. They got destroyed by the Suns. I used to be a Suns fan, so it was a little bittersweet, but I hope that helps some of you. Again, like, all this is very actionable. Your tech stack, go look at what you're using. There's so much more. Go do some trainings on it. You're gonna be like, wait, we can do that with this tool? Yeah, you can. I'm telling you, these tools are evolving. They're adding functionality so quick. You're just missing out. Number 2, performance management. Who at your organization is solely responsible for optimizing sales process efficiency and outbound efficiency in real time? If you do not have someone, you need to hire someone. Fire 2 sales reps or fire an SDR and hire this person or us, whatever you want to do. Just as long as you have a performance mindset, I really don't care. So that's what's up, everyone. All right. Have a great rest of your week. We will see you next week. We got 2 more shows. If you're not subscribed to the Modern Leader series, I'll drop it one more time for you. Make sure to sign up so you'll get the newsletter. Like I said, we got, 13-something thousand people on the newsletter now. Again, all Modern Leader, modern techniques as a part of it. So here it is right there for you. Make sure to sign up. You can join us on Zoom or you can join us on LinkedIn, whatever you prefer. And we will see you all next week.